I smuggled pizza to Angela Lansbury.
All right, so here we go. All right, so who wants to do the first one?
Oh, Billy does.
I'll do the first one.
Billy. All right, Billy. Elaine Stritch.
I was always afraid of her, and she's one of those people that if she smelled fear, you were dead. She loved people that didn't smell the fear and faced her head on, and I was never that person.
She spoke at Fritz Holt's assistant's memorial service.
Oh, yes. Amos
Abrams. And they were good friends, and as he handled Arthur, he had spent a lot of time handling Elaine. But she stood up there and said, I've been a mess all my life. He's the only guy who hung on to me and kept me straight through so much. I owed so much to him. Listen, I'm still fucked up now, but I'll bet I'm stronger than most of you. And if you're friends with him and you're here, you're friends with me, call me. And my number's going to be at the door. Find me. I can help you the way Amos helped me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And it was like the 300 people in that little theater.
Yeah.
Wow.
I stand for motherhood.
The first time I met her, Manny took me to lunch with her at Sardi's. And at one point, Merman's name came up. And Channing said, Merman. She left-handed me at my own opening. And I said, what's that? She said, oh. She came over to me, held out her left hand, and said, come on, the press is here, they want a picture. And if she's holding her left hand, she's first in the caption on that photo because she's on the left.
Oh.
So don't left-hand Channing, because she knows what that means.
Wow. She cared about her name coming first?
At a Carol Channing opening night.
If it had been a Merman opening.
So it's like she was stealing focus at Carol's opening.
Yeah, well, that's different.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I put my hand in here.
So the Dolly tour, the last Dolly tour with Carol Channing was directed by Leroy Reams. And Leroy Reams had been in it and knew Gower's staging. And so he was saying, so Carol, you come in and you do this and blah, 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 blah. And she went, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to come in over here. And well, Carol, Gower said, and Leroy, Gower's dead. And so she got her way.
You'll never get
There are
Nothing's too good enough
Nothing
to
is
say.
too good. You can't. She's Angela Lansbury, and she is everything that you want her to be. She's Angela Lansbury, and I will not hear a word against her. We had pizza brought in, and Peter Shaw, her husband, said, oh, Angela has to have a salad and blah, 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 blah. And he was very, not demanding, but he was like, she can't have pizza. That's not within her diet. She's Angela Lansbury. How dare you have just pizza? Fine. So we ordered a salad, and Peter had to go off to a meeting of some sort. And Angela Lansbury came over and she went like this to me. And I went, yeah. And she went, could you bring me 2 slices of that pizza? And I said, sure. And could you find me a place to eat it where no one can see me? I said, yes, I have a room for you. I can do that. So I smuggled pizza to Angela Lansbury.
Gee, but it's good to be
So Ethel Merman, B'nai Venuta, Ethel Merman's best friend, was visiting Ethel backstage, and Ethel was getting ready, and she had a turban on, and B'nai Venuta said, "A turban, Ethel?" And she went, "It softens me the fuck up."
Chita Rivera.
I like to be in America. Okay, bye.
She's just great. Attention must be paid, and happily attention has been paid to her. And she is acknowledged as who she is and that she's musical theater history. And we saw her a few years ago here on a Sunday evening at the Shaw Theater, which is like a conference room. But most of the people in the theater were gypsies from other West End shows. It was like they were there to pay homage, and they did. I was kind of worried because I went, ooh, are they going to get it? And she came out and they totally got it. It was like, oh, she transcends countries. She transcends time. She's Chita Rivera. She's great.
I know the
Vivien Leigh.
I love Vivien Leigh. And the only Vivien Leigh story I know is one that I read in Playbill, and it was by Paula Lawrence, and it was when she was appearing on Broadway in Ivanov with John Gielgud. And the lights bumped up 2 points when she made her entrance. And she insisted on that. And in the article, Paula Lawrence said, and as well she should. She didn't do it as a complaint. She went, she's a great star. Bump up the lights so the audience goes like this. He did something horrible to her.
What?
She had a thing called, she blacked out at a matinee on a Saturday. It's called transglobal amnesia. And she suddenly was on stage toward the end of the first act, or in the middle of the first act, and looking at Jamie Ross, who was her leading man. And she went, who are you? And he said, I'm Sam Craig. I'm the cartoonist. And she went, what? Where am I?
And she micro stroke, the kind that doesn't knock you down.
She had no idea where she was. And so they brought in the curtain, and they called the understudy, the standby. And now Bacall never missed, Raquel never missed. So this is a standby that's had a job for 2.5 years at a really decent salary, and she didn't know the show because there was no need for, everybody was a warhorse. Everybody was just always there. So she barely kept the curtain up for the second act. Debbie went to the hospital. Debbie missed the performance that night. But when Gary was calling in the payroll, he docked her for a half a performance, and for the evening performance, took it out of her salary. And I said, why would you do that? And he said, well, she didn't do the show. You don't pay somebody for not doing the show. I went, but it was an act of God. It's Debbie Reynolds. She's lovely. And he went, no, she doesn't get paid for a show that she doesn't do. And she didn't complain. I complained. Yeah.
And of course, he completely made me feel horrible because there's the humane aspect, but it's also, it's a business.
It's a business, and the show wasn't
and our
making
investors
money.
were always threatening to sue us because we barely recouped by the end of those 2.5 years because we were pampering Bacall and Peter Stone and all these people just to keep things alive. So I had to watch the pennies.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I stand by
Great.
it.
Yes.
But I do acknowledge I should feel bad, and I do feel bad.